Ivan Sen is an Indigenous filmmaker, and his mother was Aboriginal and his father European. He was raised in Inverell, New South Wales by his mother and had limited contact with his father. When Sen was asked in an interview why he made a film about Tumalay, he said it was because some of his earliest memories came from there. He never lived there, but used to go there all the time, and his mother grew up with her family there, so there's always been a connection. Sen has always wanted to go back there and do something, hence why he decided to make this film, a drama about the issues facing the town and community. Tumalay was shot on location by Sen himself, with no crew, just local people helping out. Before filming, Sen obtained permission to film in Tumalay from the town's elders. Sen shot most of the scenes, as many of the actors in the movie were his personal friends, and he believed the acting would be restricted if an entire crew turned up to do the filming. The script was written directly from experiences and memories that Sen had from visiting Tumalay. He spent a lot of the time following and observing a few teenagers and Daniel, the 10-year-old boy, around the community. He wrote down everything he saw, including the dialogue. Sen's challenge was to create a strong performance and maintain the script's dialogue at the same time. However, he also made sure the inexperienced actors felt very comfortable. The film uses the existing cars and houses in the area, and apart from one actor, Dean Daly-Jones, the entire cast consists of first-time actors from the local community. Tumalay is an Aboriginal community of around about 300 Gamalawari people in northwest New South Wales. Tumalay was set up in 1937 under the jurisdictions of New South Wales Aborigines Protection Board. It was established to manage reserves and control the lives of Aboriginal people in New South Wales. It caused mass dislocation of Aboriginal people from their traditional lands. The creation of Tumalay Reserve, where the film is set, brought together people from surrounding Gamalawari and Bigamangbu nations. In 1937, a federal and state policy of assimilation was introduced. All Aboriginal people were expected to live like European Australians. In 1940, the focus on assimilation resulted with the removal of light-skinned children from their families. This policy had a dramatic effect on Tumalay. With the forced removal of many children, the church played a major role in the assimilation process of the Tumalay people, replacing many aspects of the traditional culture. During the 1980s, Tumalay gained national publicity for some of the worst living conditions in Australia. Today, Tumalay is surrounded by grasslands which gives way to eucalypt-covered riverbanks, cotton farming and grazing, taking up much of the local land. The Tumalay Reserve is only a few hundred acres in size, but is surrounded by thousands of acres of farmland. It interweaves through the complex issues facing Tumalay, the community, from incarceration, deaths in custody, the stolen generation, and substance and sexual abuse. Other reflections throughout the movie is identity, cultural extinction, and education. These issues aren't clearly labelled in the movie, however give the audience a sense of difficult times and everyday life in Tumalay. The Tumalay people still suffer from the many health and social issues that plague Australia's Indigenous communities today. The audience travels on a journey through the eyes of 10-year-old Daniel as he searches for his place in the community. After Daniel has been suspended from school for threatening to stab a classmate with a pencil, finding there is little to do in his town, he decides he wants to be part of the gang controlling the drug trade in his township, so he decides to help Lyndon, a well-known drug dealer. He continues to hang around the older boys, buying drugs to help his mother's addiction. The boys often refer to Daniel's father. He hears about his alcohol abuse and things he did in the community, and the separation from Daniel. The movie portrays a close connection to his nan. Not many words are spoken, but the audience can see a clear connection. Daniel's auntie arrives back in the town to have a look around, sits and reminisces about life on the mission, and sees her sister Daniel's nan. The boys tell Daniel of her removal from the mission when she was young, and how the people came to take her to the dentist and she never returned. Later on in the movie, Bruce, one of Lyndon's rivals, is released from prison and a turf war erupts, leading to the death of Bruce. Daniel is caught up in the middle and thrust into a world of brutal violence. Lyndon and his gang were taken off to jail. Daniel is suddenly alone and vulnerable. He has to work out where his life is heading and make a choice for his future. Daniel's girlfriend in the movie is played by his real-life sister, Tanisha. Most of the film, Daniel seems to be wondering, thinking, and taking in all of his surroundings, trying to figure out just where and what he's meant to do with himself. A sense of confusion and lack of direction, and knowing just where he fits in, is an understanding I got from watching the movie. The film received a 2-minute standing ovation when it was showed at the Cannes Film Festival in 2011 and has won awards at the Asia Pacific Pacific Meridian Film Festival in 2011 and several other awards. Ivan Sen has written and produced many wonderful films and continues to do so today. Thank you.